I decided to create a routine that includes some of my favorite stretches to this day, even though I have been stretching regularly for the splits for probably about 3 years now. Those stretches are still the ones that I tend to favor most. It follows my usual splits over 40 guidelines. Depending on where you are in your flexibility, you may find that you need a strap and some yoga blocks. We're going to get started in the forward fold. Time and repetition are very, very important when you're working on getting your splits. So repeat this routine or any other of my routines as often as you can. You should be working on your splits at least 5 days a week. As you find your forward fold, you can sway your hips from side to side. Lengthen your spine and tilt your tailbone up towards the ceiling. You can keep your knees bent and press your chest against your thighs. And as you open up, you can start straightening your knees. Anytime you stretch, think of finding some discomfort, maybe a level 4 or 5. You don't need to feel extremely discomfort, but it's good to ease in and out of the discomfort. Maybe as you exhale, get deeper in your stretch. And then maybe release slightly as you inhale and lengthen your spine. Then exhale back into your stretch, feeling a little bit more discomfort. Now bring your left foot back, and your back foot, your right foot is on a 45-degree angle. Again, you may use blocks to elevate the floor and place your hand on the blocks or straight on the mat. And again, you can inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, lower, deeper. Also, I want you to imagine that you're pulling your left hip back. Maybe put your hand on your hip and press it back. If you want, you can lift your back heel and then lower it back down. If you like how that feels, if you find that it helps you open up, you can do that. Now step your left foot forward to meet the right, and we're going to get back in your forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway up, and with your exhale, pull yourself down with your elbows nice and wide, maybe your hands on your ankles. Now step your left foot back, and we're going to do your pyramid pose on your right side. Inhale, find space in your spine. Exhale, find depth in your stretch. Again, remember to pull your right hip back. Again, you may want to lift your back heel and see if it feels good. Lower your heel. Lift your heel. And then ground your heel. You can also sway your hips slightly. Step forward into your forward fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold into the stretch. One last breath. Come down to your hands and knees. We're going to come into your half splits with your right leg forward. Untuck your back toes. Lengthen your spine. Pull that right hip back and fold into your stretch. Inhale, find more space. Exhale, fold into your stretch even further. But again, you can use blocks, and if that's where you are and that feels uncomfortable, stay here. Now you can stay here, or you can revolve your half splits if you want to work on your side body a little bit. Place your left hand right beside your right ankle and open your chest by lifting your right hand up. One more breath. And then stay on the right side, but bend your right knee. Here we're gonna stretch into your psoas. Bring your attention to the back left leg and melt your hips down, but you're still pressing that left hip forward and the right hip back. Just trying to square your hips. Maybe you can place your hands in your lower back and lengthen your spine. Open your chest. You can also place your right hand down and stretch your left side body. Now switch side, place your left fingertips to the mat. Lengthen your right arm to the ceiling. Tuck your back toes. We're going to move back to your pyramid pose, but this time we're gonna find a revolved version. Although again, you have the option to stay in the regular version, just right here. When I was just learning my splits, that's what helped most here. So you can definitely stay here. Otherwise, place your left hand beside your right foot and revolve into the pose. Don't forget to send the right hip back. Three more breaths. Now we're gonna switch right away. So bring your right leg back and your left leg forward. Find your half splits. Lengthen forward and then find your depth in the half splits. It took me about 6 months to get from really inflexible to the floor in the splits. But then I worked for very, very long to refine my splits and work on my form. Now you can get your revolve half split here. So place your right hand beside your left foot and revolve. Maybe you find it hard to balance here. It helps to really make sure you're pressing your heel down in the pose. Now we're going to bend that left knee. Hips forward and down. Squeeze your shoulder blades, gaze up, and breathe. This time, bring your right fingertips on the mat and find a little stretch here. Inhale up and over. Place your left fingertips on the mat. Keep melting your hips forward and down. And then ease off. Straighten your legs, tuck the back toes, and find your revolve pyramid on the left leg. Inhale, lengthen. Place your right hand beside your left foot and find your twist. And work on squaring your hips. So draw your left hip back. Let's do 3 more breaths. Good. Let's come all the way down to your back. Here, if you're using a yoga strap, you're going to wrap it around your right leg and hold the strap to stretch into your hamstring, or just use your hands You can hold anywhere on your leg, your ankle, your calf, your thigh. And think of bringing your leg in. You're aligning your leg to your nose. Pull into the discomfort. Little pulses. So find your max and pulse in and out. Now move your right leg towards your left shoulder. We're just changing the range of your stretch a little bit. Now angle your foot to your right. Now release, we're gonna switch side. Bend your left knee to your chest and straighten your left leg. You can also straighten your right leg. Now we're angling your left leg towards the middle, towards your nose. And you're pulsing in the stretch like we did on the first side. Now angle slightly towards the right shoulder. Now let's angle your leg towards your left shoulder. Little pulses. Bend your knees. We're going to come back up. Let's get into your half splits. Bring your right leg forward. And then lengthen your spine. Find your half split. Now we're gonna start working towards your full splits. And also what I want to point out is that if you don't have your full splits quite yet, you can sit on a block and there's various levels. You can use this level and stretch here, or you can use this one, stretch here. And I know I spent quite a lot of time here, so you can also work here. But for now, I'm just going to find my splits here. And I find that what really helps for me in the splits right now is to keep my legs really active. So I press my heel down, my front heel down. I keep my back toes tucked. I lower myself in the splits and then maybe untuck the toes. And then I like to lean forward for a moment. And I move my hips in a stretch. And then I will get back up and bend my back knee to get out of the splits. We're going to repeat this on the next side. Bring your left leg forward to find your half splits. And then stretching your half splits for just a moment. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale. And then we're gonna work on finding your full splits. Use a block. You can always use a block. And keep your legs active. Keep your back toes tucked. Press that front heel on the mat. It's my favorite way to warm up into the splits. It's just to play around with keeping my legs active, lifting my back knee up, lowering it back down. And then as I open up, I get my full splits, and then maybe lower on my leg here. I move my thighs from side to side. And lift your chest back up. I like to open my heart. Oh, I forgot to untuck my toes, I just realized. And that's okay. And then bending that back knee to get out of the pose. I'm still training for the splits because I want to improve my bird of paradise and my standing splits. So I like to keep working on my splits on a regular basis, even though I can do the splits even without warming up now. But it's uncomfortable. I rarely stay in the pose for more than a minute. And eventually I want to work on my oversplits. All that being said, today's routine is an amazing routine to follow on a regular basis, particularly if you're working on finding your splits over 40. Stay consistent. I know you can do it.